We have Cosmic Kraken K4. It is time to rise up. Hello everyone. So for this video, we're going to be doing a review on a Beyblade Burst Rise Hasbro Exclusive 2-pack. In this 2-pack, it comes with Gargoyle G5, which is just the G4, just a recolor, and Cosmic Kraken. So, first off, name change. The original name was Cosmo Valkyrie. This is the Japanese Takara Tomy version. Hasbro renamed it from Cosmo to Cosmic. That's a pretty alright name change. I prefer actually Cosmic than saying Cosmo. Kraken got an evolution, and we get the Cosmo layer base. So, the sort of, I don't really like to use this term, but basically just the, kind of the fake weight, what I mean by that, it's sort of like, just like a separate thing. It's not really a weight, but it's on the box. It's fused with 10, which is what the original one had. So, the plastic fused weight with Cosmic is 10. So, what's really cool about this is that we get the Cosmic layer base, which, by the way, wasn't really all that good to begin with, but we get the evolution of Kraken, and Kraken is probably one of my favorite Hasbro exclusives, and I really like how this chip looks. Funny enough, we also get, to keep Hypersphere on the Gargoyle, but the weird thing about the Gargoyle, by the way, the parts are like 10 and keep whatever, it's only like a slightly different shade of red, because there's already that red Bushin, I'm never gonna get used to the name. The Bushin Ashindra. That's still a wacky name. But yeah, also new disc, because that disc is not anything I've seen before. Anyways, the parts are D57 TH07 and then after D73 TH02. So yeah, TH07 is the same like Ashindra. Also, as I'll keep on mentioning every single review, this is amazing box art. I love how it's so manga-like. So, here's what the stats look like for this stuff. As you can see, obviously these are both right rotating bays. So, I'm gonna go over the stats now. Now, with these Hypersphere products, they come with stats for them. So, in the case of this, let me just get it out. So, the stats are a little bit different. Okay, so the stats for this one is 3 in runtime. Both 3 in runtime, 3 in drop-in frequency, 4 in runtime, 2 in drop-in frequency. What it means is that if you have high stats in runtime, that's the length of time that you spend moving along the brink or within the battle ring. The drop-in frequency means if you have high in that, it means it's the frequency at which the top drops in from the brink to the battle ring. So one is just riding around the stadium, the other one is just going into the center. So yeah, let's just go and open this. Alright, so I'm super excited to also download the app. By the way, I always forget to show QR code in this video. So, let's just peep it. So here we have the Gargoyle. That looks pretty cool. Not really much to say. It's just like a really nice looking recolor. I think Hasbro did a really good job doing a recolor of Gargoyle. 10 is like a whatever disc. It's not that bad of a disc. It's like, okay, really? Keep Hypersphere. The main difference between this and the Takara Tomy version is obviously that there is no little rubber ball thing. It's just all modified. It does have a similar shape to Keep. And if you're wondering, the difference between Keep from Gargoyle and Ashindra is just that this is a bright red and the Ashindra one was a dark red. And, you know, Keep Hypersphere is, it's pretty cool, I would say. I would say it's probably one of the best Hypersphere drivers that they've recently put out. But, yeah. That's kind of it. And if you're wondering, by the way, real quick, as I'm going to assemble it, I believe the slopes are just like decent. I'd probably give it like 6.5 to 7. So let's assemble it. This is what it looks like assembled. Pretty cool. Alright, anyways, we're going to move on to Kraken. We're going to move on to Cosmic Kraken. So the cool thing about Hasbro's Hypersphere lineup is just that we can get some really unique stuff. And I know not everyone is going to like it. It's not going to be their cup of tea, which is perfectly fine. You know, I don't agree with some things. I don't like some things with Hasbro, like I did like with Turbo. I've criticized Turbo a lot. Same thing with Rise. you know, I still like some of the cool things that they do. Like, I like the fact that we get these Hasbro Exclusives. So, we've got the GT chip, which is still weird that they call it a GT chip, but it is Kraken. So, if you don't know, originally in the Japanese version, there was something called a random booster, which is basically 8 bays in one prize bay. And that prize bay for that random booster lineup was Cosmo Valkyrie. So in Japan, they don't call it Valtryek, they call it Valkyrie. And the Cosmo Lair base was kind of meh. There's maybe like a couple of combos you could put together with it, but it wasn't really that good. But it's still cool to see Hasbro did it. Another thing I do want to mention, just because, is that I already did weigh this out, and there's a couple of grams of difference. I think it's about 3. Now, if Hasbro's GT chips were formatted differently with how they made it, it probably would have been almost the exact weight. The issue is that because there's just these big gaps there, right? There's nothing. There's nothing. It's less weight on it, so that's why layer bases will always be sort of like, you know, less than what they originally were. But the GT chips are usually almost always closer to the original. They're almost always like 2-3 grams, whatever the usual is. But the chip looks super nice. I love the design for it. So the original Kraken sort of had like this little anchor thing going on it. Not to get confused with the performance of the anchor. I really like how it looks. Cosmo Lair Base has a decent color. I also really like the fact that we're getting these new discs. And I know with Hypersphere they have modified the disc quite a bit, where it's not technically new or whatever, but I love it. The fact that we can get new discs, it is just so cool to me. And even if not all of them are good, it definitely changes up the competitive play for Beyblade. This is a performance tip of Hypersphere. It looks alright, sort of like got like this little spiral design on it. It's okay. I'm not really too hyped for the tips for Hypersphere. Like, they've changed the gimmicks so much that they're pretty much all just going to do the same thing. Oh, okay, almost the same thing. I don't want to say that. Almost the same thing. But let me get the chip. You want to see the slopes? There you go. Alright, let's assemble this. Let's see how good it is. Let's see how tight it is before I just go and actually assemble it. Or I mean, put it on the scale. That is actually tight. Like, it feels like, think of like Calzar K3 for how good this feels on the thing. You see, this is my point I keep on making. If we get these Rise products and they have the good slopes, that means they can perform at least decent, because they're tight. Alright, now the question that everybody actually cares about, the weights. First off, I want to see how heavy this new disc is. It is not, it's almost 20 grams. Okay, so next up, let's weigh the Kraken GT chip. We're looking at about almost like 3 grams. Just to give you perspective, here is Valkyrie, the Japanese chip. Yeah, 3 grams, they're literally almost identical in weight. Here is the Cosmo Takara Tomy layer base, that is 11.44. This should be like 8.9, I think. What is it? 8. Oh, I highballed it then. 8.3. So that is the weight difference between the two. It is a little bit big, but you know, not really too troubling for me. I like what they did with it. First off, just comparing the Cosmo. I wish there was some transparency. I know how there was new transparency. I think with Cosmo, they could have, because it's only one piece actually, this Cosmo, now I'm looking at it. Yeah, because Hasbro kind of does stuff a little bit weird. I would prefer it if Cosmo was maybe 2 separate pieces, so we could, is it actually 2 separate pieces? I can't really tell with this mold. Hold on, let me just, yeah, no, it's all one piece because there's no screws on the bottom. Yeah, alright. No, to be honest, I can't even tell. I just want a transparency on this. I just want a transparency, if I'm going to be honest. But it does look super nice. The total weight, you're looking at almost 40 grams, with Gargoyle being, what is that, 41 grams? Funny enough, Gargoyle is actually heavier. So now we're going to be doing some battles. We'll do it against the Cosmo Valkyrie, and then after we'll do the battles through the 2-packs, whatever. Let's just move on. So before we actually go into Kraken, I just want to show off this really cool looking Gargoyle with Keep. So this 2-pack having a Keep with it is, I would say, you know, pretty cool. Keep Hypersphere is honestly one of my favorite tips, so let's just do test launch. Gargoyle, hold your ground, please. Don't go that crazy, Gargoyle. You can't. You mustn't. Yeah, but I really like Keep Hypersphere. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the original Gargoyle that came out, and I'll make it go up against, you know, a Hypersphere Gargoyle. So we're gonna have a match between these two. And then after I'll do a whole, like, session just with Kraken. You know, it could be anyone's game. I don't really know. I've got Massive Slingshot versus Keep Hypersphere, so it's gonna be interesting. I actually just realized I gave that Gargoyle dagger, and I don't know. Wow. Why did I give that Gargoyle dagger? I'm just realizing that. Hey! Keep did it! Yeah, what were the... Yeah, it had 8. Okay, that's interesting. Well, anyways... Yeah, just showing off these two. I really do like the recolor of Gargoyle. You know, just want to do a quick little match, and then after, let's just move on to the Kraken session. It is time to release the Kraken! In a moment, anyways. So something I just want to point out is just that, you know, I think this disc is, you know, I guess this core disc is all right. Something I actually do want to say is just this tip is Air Knight's tip. The Air Knight, whatever is on Air Knight K5. Let me get Air Knight K5. Just to show you the symbol on it right here. Yeah, I actually do like that tip. That tip is, I would say, sort of like similar to why I like Keep, because Keep is good just for the attack and for the good LAD that it has compared to the other tips that I've tested it out on. So I do like this. And something else I just want to show is just how it obviously spins. So I'll do like a light launch, and then after like a, you know, a stronger launch. So that's what I mean when I say it sort of like has this light movement, and then after, obviously with a Hypersphere base, since it is Hypersphere. Oh no, that was the same launch. Hold on, let me try to do a little bit. I'm not trying to launch it too hard just because I don't want it to go. There we go. Hey, look at it go. The Kraken. The Kraken. Yeah, it's like that. I like that tip a lot. I like that tip a lot. Is it really good? You know, I don't really know about that. But something I just do want to say too is just that I do wish just maybe there's a little bit more detail on, you know, Cosmic Kraken. Just say like an example with Cosmo Dragon. I don't like how Cosmo Dragon's GT chip looks like. I think it looks really ugly. But just the base maybe could have had maybe some transparency on the bottom, where they could have done it in 2 pieces, because, you know, with Cosmo, there definitely is 2 pieces, the top part and the bottom part. You know, I would have preferred it, or at least, like, if they don't want to do 2 pieces and they want to do 1 piece when they're making all these layer bases, you know, maybe like a gradient or something like that. I don't really like it, like, when there's only, like, 1 coat of paint. Like, you can see the inner part of the yellow looks nice, but, you know what I mean? I just like it when it's too basic. Like, I think Ace Dragon's, like, the biggest offender to, like, that criticism, how some of these bays look. But, you know, the original Kraken, obviously. I hope to God I don't miss that. Oh, wait, okay, we're good, we're good. Hey, hey. I thought for a second there, it's like, it's gonna really lose? Please no. Please no. So we're probably gonna win. Probably. Well, hopefully anyways. Yeah, of course. Of course the evolution would win. The funny thing would be if it loses, but that doesn't really happen unless you're like Valkyrie or something like that. Yeah, and the thing is too, you know, for my opinion on this, when you look at TT's Cosmo, that base really isn't that good, so I don't know. With Hasbro, I wouldn't say that's maybe better. I would just say that, you know, since, no, really, no, I think just Hasbro will be fine, I guess. I think since a lot of layer bases are a little bit, you know, kind of different, I would say, with how they've been doing all this stuff with GT and whatever. I don't really know if Cosmo will be the same level, sort of like, meh, compared to what TT had. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to get some turbo bays, and we're going to see how well it does, and then after we'll do another match with Kraken in the different stadium. So obviously we're going to get Turbo Valkyrie. You gotta. You gotta. I don't know how well it's going to do. Maybe it doesn't do well, maybe maybe it does. You know, maybe we'll get a surprise today. Kraken! Come on! Prove that you're good! I'm gonna count that as a roll. I'm gonna say that went to Turbo Valkyrie for that round. That definitely looked like a roll to me. I'm just trying to like, get like a vibe off this. Just trying to see like, is Cosmo maybe not that bad? Well, it's certainly not giving any good like hits to really like give it any that good attack, but maybe it'll just be like all right for Hasbro. Maybe it won't be too bad. Let's try to launch Kraken. Okay, this will be a little bit closer. So we're gonna see how well it does. I'm not expecting really Kraken to win because the thing, yeah, I was about to say, I kind of would expect something like this to happen. Yeah, because Cosmo is not that good. Yeah, so I guess that kind of confirms my thought on it. I would say the Kraken GT chip is, I would say it's decent. Like that you can definitely maybe put that on, actually this will look really nice on Slash. Let me get Slash here for a second. So this is, oh, excuse me, this is Sword. We're gonna get Sword Valkyrie, excuse me. I'm still remembering the TT names. So, you know, some of these chips don't look that bad, so you could probably have something like Kraken like on Sword and it kind of look pretty cool. Yeah, and you know, I'm kind of fine because I know a lot of people also would have wanted like Cosmic Valkyrie, but to be honest, I prefer the fact that, you know, for all these layer bases that they made for the random boosters that just reuse old chips, I really do like that Hasbro, you know, made use of that and just made like a Hasbro exclusive chip and just to make it go on with like those bases. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna make it go up against another opponent. Let's try Air Naito. Does Cosmo have enough power to attack Air Knight? I guess we're gonna find out today. I'm hoping it's a yes. I'm hoping it's a yes. Okay. All right, next up. How's that? Yeah, let's just get Archer Hercules. Hasbro. So, you know, I'm a little bit impressed in some regard. You know, they kind of made use out of the Cosmo layer base. It's just like, I'm trying to think like, you know, why Cosmo? So it's a little bit weird. I don't mind that they found use for Cosmo to put it on someday, but I was trying to think of, you know, could this potentially mean, hey, good hits managed to make it outspin Hasbro's Eternal. I really do hope that this means that stuff like Flare, you know, this layer base that was also for a random booster does a prize, and other stuff like Tact maybe gets used just for Hasbro exclusive evolutions. That would be pretty cool. So next up, we're gonna get Breaker Excalius. Go Kraken! Don't let Excalius burst. Yeah, who am I kidding? It probably will. I picked Breaker Excalius just because Excalius has some pretty good attacks. So, you know, so far I'm kind of liking Kraken. I'm kind of liking Kraken. So what I'm going to be doing now is do Gargoyle versus Kraken. So now we're going to be doing the 2-pack battle. So Gargoyle is a really nice recolor, and it has Keep Hypersphere. So I guess we're going to see, you know, how well it actually performs. Oh, okay. They're kind of moving, you know. We got some movement going on. Oh. Is it? Who's it gonna be? Well, I'd assume Kraken because it looked like it gave better hits compared to Gargoyle in that match. Hey, that was pretty Kraken. All right, now we're gonna do another round. Whoa, that was way too much of a Hypersphere trick shot I just did right there. Let's try to tone it down just a wee bit. Hey, they're kind of traveling in this match. Okay, I kind of like the movement that's going on. It's really fun to actually battle Hypersphere base. Like, you can say whatever you want, and I still don't know how good they are in the general meta, like how competitively viable they are, but one thing for sure is that these bays are fun. Hey, okay, now we gotta break that die. These bays, like, I'm gonna be honest, they are fun to use. The more fun than I would say Slingshot is, so. Oh my god! Look at how they're riding the sphere! They're riding the sphere! Okay, this is actually really cool. Okay. And come on, Kraken. Hey, that's pretty nice. Yeah, I like Gargoyle a lot, so cool thing about this when you get it, you get like an alright disc, which is 10, but Keep Hypersphere, I would say, is like pretty good, I think this 2-pack is actually worth getting. Of course, if you like Hasbro's Hypersphere stuff, plus, actually, you know what, the core disc isn't that heavy. I thought for a second it was really heavy. It's like, it's really not. Yeah, that's the other thing I was really hoping. I just wish the core discs that you know are for Hypersphere were just heavier. Then after that, that would make these days a lot cool. Hello, I even gave Cosmo Valkyrie 00. What? Okay, we're gonna do a round against Cosmo Valkyrie. Why? What world do we live in where this happens? So we're gonna do a match against Gargoyle in this stadium with Kraken. So who knows who'll win? Maybe it's Kraken, maybe it's Gargoyle. You know what? I'm gonna go for Gargoyle because maybe it is. You know, who knows? You can never tell with these battles with Hasbro base. You really just can't tell. And is anything gonna happen? What's going on? Okay, that is Kraken. Next up, we're gonna be doing Tacked Bahamut 7-wall metal orbit. I don't really know why I have this combo out, but I just figured since I already have it, you know, let's see how Kraken does against it. If it can even do that well. So this is going to be against Metal Orbit. With Kraken against Tacked. I'm actually curious to see who's going to win this one. I would assume it'll be Bahamut. Maybe it's not. Let's try it against a bee that's not really all that good with its stock combo, Diabolos. I don't know why that bullet's not. There we go, the bullet's out. Hey! Now I can be satisfied with whoever wins this match. That's what I'm talking about. I don't care what anyone says. As far as I was able to see, Diabolos got that one. Actually, I can't really tell because I think it stopped in it. I don't know. You know, that's actually a little bit too hard to tell. All right, so we're gonna do it up against a couple more bays. Let's obviously get Prime Apocalypse and just see how it does. Stop it. Hasbro, stop it. Don't. Watch this Kraken just pull like a burst. Okay. Thank the heavens. I was about to say, if Hasbro does that good against an Infinite Lock Bay, I might actually end the video there. So what we're going to be doing is putting Union in its attack mode. Just to at least see. And then after we'll just end it off, and then after I'll see if this 2-pack really is that good. It is a little bit weird this time around, because now with the 2-packs, there's actually multiple Hasbro exclusives as the main bay. Because before you would see something where it's like Fafnir and Rooter as the exclusive, or stuff like that. But you know, they have had some 2-packs, like I think Dawn and Marigna, that have been like, you know, main bays in the 2-packs. I do hope they just really experiment with having, you know, these Hasbro bays on either completely new layer bases or at least ones where there wasn't even a new chip for it in the random boosters that have been released. Yeah, yeah, it did all right. You know, wall kind of scraped a bit, but you know, we have to be fair. We have to be fair with the rating. So, is this a better evolution than the Kraken? Well, we're about to find out. In this stadium, we're gonna see how it does. You thought I really wasn't gonna do that match in this stadium. I just saved it for the end. I would say it's a good evolution of Kraken, you know. I like it. I really did like Kraken. I know obviously, you know, Kraken's not that good at all. Like, it was alright. Like, I think 7 is probably fair or something like that. Like, it was alright. Cosmic Kraken, I'd say, is a pretty cool evolution. So is this 2-pack worth getting? I would say you get some decent parts. Like, 10's like not that bad of a disc. Like, obviously, I would say if it had something like 0 or something like that, obviously I would say, yeah, it's a little more worth it. But, you know, Keep Hypersphere is pretty good, and this tip right here is also not that bad at all. If I were to give Cosmic Kraken out of 10, I would say this is like a fair, maybe like 7.5, maybe an 8. I would say that's like a pretty fair thing to say. Like, you know, it did do pretty well. It did do like really decent, and you know, other Hypersphere bays might also be decent. I don't know. I have to see the other 2-packs just get a really good idea. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.
Yo, my boy ZANKYE, you know, my man, where's the Q? Oh my god, is that Gargoyle's QR code? Well, thank you. But gotta use Kraken Hasbro.
Yeah, there you go. It's a little hard to see. I'll just like remove it. And by the way, you can see a little bit better of the slopes. I don't really know if I showed it before, really like that, but that's what the slopes look like. So enjoy the codes, and yeah.